What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well, having a good Wednesday. Midweek settings. We're on time, by the way, guys, as well. We're punctual. It's bang, 6 p.m. Boom, we go live. That's what we're doing, and it's not shots fired. KG, not shots fired. What? Not at all. I'm not sure making shots at all. No. Midweek settings. So we're going to get into the latest Manchester United news and stories. Joined as always by my partner in crime, that being DJ. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good. You know, it's always good to sort of get on top of these reports that come out. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Exactly. I tell you what, we'll start off. We won't even talk about football starting off. And I didn't even tell you this before we started, right? I saw the Batman last week. And
Brilliant.
yeah, I didn't tell you. So if you don't know, DJ's a big Batman fan. We discovered this about each other a while ago. We were talking about Batman and it just went like that. We started getting really big, really nerdy about it. So he told me he was going to watch the Batman last week, and I didn't tell him that I was also going to watch it. I was like, maybe I'll go watch it, because I thought, you know what, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it, save it for the show. So I went to see it also. Yeah. So obviously, guys, no spoilers in the chat, but wow. I mean, what we're talking, DJ? Top three Batman films ever?
Yeah, 100%. It'll be in the top two for me.
Really?
It's between
Dark Knight
and between the two. Yeah. Between the two. I'm not going to do the recency bias thing because Dark Knight was a work of art, but this film is really good. So for those of you that haven't watched it, go watch it. Recommendation.
Yeah,
good film.
I mean, I would recommend watching it. You've seen it twice.
I've seen it twice.
My only thing is that it's really long. It is a long film. It's nearly 3 hours, but I mean, it could have been maybe half an hour shorter. There's some stuff in there. I'm like, I don't know if you need to be in there, but it's quality. It's really good stuff. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Even if you're not a Batman fan, it's more of a sort of a detective kind of film. If you like a thriller kind of film, go and watch it. So, but we've got to talk about Man United because that's the channel. And I know it's tough and I know it hurts, but we've got to. You've got to face your fears and you've got to do the difficult things. So we're going to start off talking about Luke Shaw. So a report's come out today talking about Luke Shaw and his future with the club. This comes from Jamie Jackson from The Guardian, who has said, Luke Shaw is open to signing a new contract at Manchester United. He earns a basic salary of about £150,000 a week, which would rise should new terms be agreed. Now, of course, his current deal actually expires at the end of next season, but United do have an option for an extra year, so it's June 2024. DJ, does Luke Shaw deserve a new contract?
He really doesn't. And they're talking about basic salary of 150,000. Basic salary. I think he earns more than most of, City and Liverpool, their left backs or whatever. Basic salary. Yeah. I just think it's indicative of all the problems that we've highlighted as fans of Manchester United. Players getting rewarded for essentially doing nothing. I don't even understand why we're even talking about deals with Luke Shaw now. I think even he would be honest with himself to say, hey, look, I haven't really been pulling up any trees this season. I don't really warrant a pay rise. But he's never going to say no, is he? My whole thing is, what is that 150,000 going to rise to? Because does he go up to, 170, 180, which he doesn't deserve. He's not the only one that doesn't deserve, a wage bump. Like, I think it's just stupid of the club. I think maybe they want to. I think they're looking at certain players that they can kind of secure. I'm guessing he's probably one of them that they think England international again. They're probably thinking let's keep like the English contingent at the club. I don't know, whatever it is, but I think it's a bad move.
I just look at it as, frankly, nobody deserves a new contract at the moment, and I mean, you can kind of look at it as it's an easy one because when you write these kind of stories, you hear this kind of thing. Everyone had the same reaction of when they heard that Luke Shaw's open to sign a new contract. Everyone went, seriously, after what we've seen last weekend, and that's for any player. If any player came out this week being like, I'm open to signing a new deal, people would be like, do one, come on. Of everything that's been going on at the moment, seriously, signing new deals, and it's a lot, and that's the real thing, I suppose. That's my next question: is even at his best, which is probably last season, he had a good season, he was good at the Euros. His performances this season obviously don't merit 150 grand a week; they just don't. But even at his best, do they merit 150k a week when, like you said, you've got other people at other clubs? I think Cancelo's on like 70 or 80k a week. I'm 100% sure. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'll have a look in a second. But Andrew Robertson's not on the same amount as Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
There's just no way. Does he, even at his best, did they merit 150k a week?
No, because his best for me doesn't even his best for me doesn't even come up to their level, and he isn't the best left back in the league. So he's probably, and again, we don't have the numbers in front of us. So I'm going to guess. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say Luke Shaw is probably the best paid left back in the British Premier League.
Andrew Robertson,
I don't really think
apparently 100k a week, but even that, you go, that's value for money.
Okay, it's not too far. Yeah,
that's value for money. That's getting assists.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. So when you look at it in comparison,
Luke Shaw's not even.
Shaw, you know,
it doesn't equal up. It doesn't, and I think he doesn't deserve that. Even at his best, don't get me wrong. When he is firing, he's a joy to watch. I think he's very attacking when he can do. I think there's just other parts of his game that he's just not bringing full circle. He's very similar to Rashford in that sense, that there is talent there is raw talent there. It's just about bringing it full circle. But for me, nah, not 150,000 a week. No way, Owen. And do you know what? Just because we're touching on wages, I think if United could ever sort out their wage bill, their overinflated wage bill, I think that we could save a lot of money that way. I just don't think that Luke Shaw is worth 150,000 a week. Just not happening.
Yeah, I mean, is that part of the bigger problem in itself of like now with his deal? You know, maybe he's not going to sign a new deal in the next couple of months, most likely. But whenever they do go to negotiate with him, barely any, unless you're right on the way down or you're in the advanced years of your career, you never accept a pay cut. It's always going one way. It's going up. So if United now got themselves in this situation where it's like, next contract's going to be even bigger, and it's going to be a lot of money, you know. And is this and this isn't just specific to Luke Shaw, by the way. This is specific to a lot of players at the club.
Across the board,
already, you would say a lot of these players are on wages that are way too high, not value for money. We know the wages in football are unbelievably overinflated. Everyone's millionaires. We get it. But we're talking here value for money in comparison to other clubs. We know we're not getting value for money. We're not in the top four. So we're definitely not getting value for money. But is this sort of a club-wide issue? And like you said, the wage structure is just out of control.
Yeah, definitely a club-wide issue. And it creates further issues down the line, you know, in terms of selling on players if they don't fulfill that potential. You know, we know that Manchester United is one of the only teams that really can afford these overinflated high wages for players. And the wages don't necessarily reflect the players' quality. So it just creates a whole host of issues, you know, going forward. And another thing, I saw a conflicting report to say that all sort of contracts and stuff are on hold. And I thought, oh, that's a good bit of news. If it's true, that's a good bit of news coming out of Manchester United, because it basically means we're looking for a manager at the moment that's going to come in and look at sort of the players he has, and some players might be surplus to requirements. So my kind of fear is if we give Luke Shaw this sort of pay rise or whatever you want to call it, which it is, how do we know that he's going to figure in the new manager's plans? We actually don't know that yet. So it's just, we just seem to be making the same mistakes that we have been making over the last few years.
Well, I suppose in fairness to the club, that there's one thing, Luke Shaw being open. Yeah, I'd sign a new contract, but we don't know for a fact that United are even considering offering him one at the moment. You know, it's one thing for Luke Shaw as his team or whoever to say, oh yeah, we'd be able to sign a new contract now, but Man United could be just like us. They could be scoffing and going, we're not offering you one at the moment, you know, because like you said, because we're focusing on other things. We're focusing on a new manager. I mean, Ralph Rangnick's certainly not involved. Every time he was asked in January, what's going on with this guy's contract, he would just go, I don't know. I'm not involved. I'm not involved in that situation. So it could be a similar situation to that. Red Baron with a super chat, appreciate the contribution, says, but United like rewarding failure. We rewarded bankers at the club with bonuses and promotions. Why are we surprised? LOL. Fail more equals more money. K-Flow also says, save money, you say. The club saves money by giving them new contracts rather than pay 30 plus mil for a new player. The club will never change. You know what? Okay, though, I would almost argue that they do give those big contracts, but they also spend money on players, which then leads to an overinflated money on players, by the way. And then that leads to a squad that's ginormous, filled with contracts that are really inflated, and it makes it really difficult for them to be moved on. because
exactly.
you get a situation whereby they go, right, we're looking to offload you because we want to bring in a new player, or just the wage structure is too big, or whatever it may be. And then when a club comes in and Man United go, okay, we'll accept that transfer offer, the player just goes, no, I'm not leaving. You're kidding me. I've got 3 years left on a contract of like 150K a week, which I know for a fact I'm not getting elsewhere. I'm just not. And from, and I know people will go, but isn't it about playing football and when you want to play football? And I understand that. But on the flip side, you have to understand, like, it's a short career, football. And if someone's offering me a load of money, I'm not going to turn it down. You kidding me? And then you go back to that's Man United's fault, because when they were at the negotiating table in the first place, they were desperate, and it always starts from desperation. They were desperate to get this player, whether it's offering him a high wage to stop other clubs because we were not in the Champions League or not competing or not what we once were. So we offer loads of money, we throw loads of money at it, and then what happens? It will always bite you in the ass. Always, every single time.
It will do, yeah. And desperation has been sort of our middle name for the last how many years? 8-9 years. Just been so desperate in terms of players, acquiring players, whether that's getting, players that are over the hill, whether that's getting players that have, come with a documented injury history. Like, we literally just never make good decisions. And when it's time to make good decisions, when it is the time to make good decisions, we rarely do that. So, oh man, Owen, I just think that if Man United open up this can of worms, and the other players in the squad are going to start looking across that shore like, wait, he's worth, let's say, just for example, 180,000 a week. Okay, I'm worth more then. It's just going to start issues.
And also, look, we've spoke about before that it might be a situation where all 4 fullbacks at the club actually probably aren't good enough. Let's be honest here. We're talking about, we talk about Wan-Bissaka and all that kind of stuff. We're talking about Dalot, we're talking about Luke Shaw and Tellez. Is there really much difference between any of them? Not really. Are any of them really good enough when you're really looking at the top class fullbacks in the Premier League? Whether it is, Trent and Robertson at Liverpool and their assists are outrageous, whether it's Cancelo, his assists outrageous, Kyle Walker, whoever it may be, they're just nowhere near. I mean, they're just not Reece James, they're nowhere near. Yeah. And it gets to the point, like you said, if we wanted to bring in a new left back or a new fullback, they'll look at their rivals in Luke Shaw and go, 150K a week. Well, I want parity with that or better. Yeah. I'm better than them,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think Bruno's even on a modest wage, to be fair. I think Bruno's on a modest wage.
In comparison.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, what do you think United should do in this situation? Like we said before, it's one thing for Luke Shaw to say he'd be open to signing a deal, but what do you think United should do, and what do you think they will? Do you think, Luke Shaw, by all accounts, big, clear out in the summer? Do you think Luke Shaw is going to be part of that? Does he get let go? Do United just do nothing and go, well, we've got 2 years, the amount of problems we've got at the moment, forget that. We're not even looking at that. Oh, he's gone. DJ's gone. Oh, I've been left. Do you know what? DJ hasn't done this in ages. He hasn't done this in ages. I've got to zoom in. You can only see my desk. Oh, classic DJ, that. Classic DJ. Where did this is the thing? Where did he go? Where did he go? DJ left like Luke Shaw. Oh, wow. I'll continue until he comes back. Oh, he's back now. Oh,
I don't know what happened there. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Literally, don't know.
Old school DJ. But like I said, what do you think he'll do? What do you think he'll do when it comes to? Oh, he's frozen again. He's back. You're back. What do you think he'll do?
I'm back.
You're back. What do you think United will do in the summer? Do you think they'll let him go? Do you think he'll get the new deal, or do you think they'll just do nothing?
I think he'll get the new deal, to be fair. I think they just want to secure their assets. I think they're looking at Luke Shaw. I think the question is, does he have another gear to go up? I think potentially, yeah, he does. Who's humble? Yeah, I'm back. The original DJ is back. But yeah, I think they'll just give him the deal. I think they just want to keep that sort of English quota at the club and keep You
cut out again, DJ.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening today.
DJ's been doing the KG Tesco Wi-Fi settings. That's been the problem.
DJ's got brand new Wi-Fi today as well.
DJ's getting his Wi-Fi from KG. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that I don't think anything will happen. To be honest, I really don't.
Think you don't think they'll give him it?
Well, it's 2 years. I mean, look at how they've handled contracts recently, right? They don't.
True.
They're not very proactive when it comes to all that kind of stuff. I think that it's one thing for sure to say, yeah, of course I'd want to sign a new contract. It's another whether it actually happen. I think United are focused on getting the new manager. I think they've got so many issues at the club that Luke Shaw, like, whilst he might be a problem sometime down the line, he's not an issue right now, and they've got enough going on. So
yeah,
I don't really see that, to be honest. Super chat from Janari says, evening from Saudi Arabia, gents. The rebuild necessitates that many players should be told that the wages they are currently on will not be given again. It's not even hard to justify as well. All the board have to do is point to the performances. Good. To be fair, it's fair. It's fair. Basically, them saying that, actually, we're not going to offer these wages out again because last time we did, it wasn't good enough. So sorry, and I think that's fair. Red Baron says, you ever play a video game where you pick all the wrong skill choices? That's Man United. We need to retool and start over. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I've done that on Football Manager, when you try and move your attributes down, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Always trying to get very an attacking side, and then it always goes wrong. CJK says DJ got the generational Wi-Fi. It's true. He does have generational Wi-Fi.
I don't know what is going on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave quickly, connect and come back, reconnect, come back.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, go on then.
All right. 2 seconds, guys.
Okay. So he's gone again. This is what happens when you're live, folks. This is what happens with your live. You can just, and this is not planned for. You know what I like about this background, by the way? I'm really off the rails now. Do you know what I like about this background? Is it looks like it's just a black background. And then if I move, if you logo. It's fun, isn't it? I'm definitely vamping because I'm just talking about what's behind me at the moment. See what everyone else is saying. Lewis says, it's crazy that these players even think they deserve these types of wages. Daytime robbery. Swifty says, after a loss like this week, how does this even make sense as a club to even be risking releasing? Steffi Jenks says, oh, that's nice. TTMCTV says, should be open to leave more like rubbish. And Junaid Bauer says, you guys just did the board's job. The best left back is on less than our simples. And it's Junade. I'm sorry. My pronunciation, I apologize, Junade, is terrible. Like, I'm so bad. I've realized recently I've been doing these like voiceover videos for this wrestling channel. I've been doing these voiceover videos, and I realized that basically I can't talk. I'm just the biggest mush mouth in the world. And when I've been trying to do these like voiceover videos, I can't read barely. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. DJ's back.
We're going to see. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Just soldier through it. Yeah.
Killen says, the answer to all your questions and prayers, Jesper Carlson of AZ Alkmaar in the Netherlands. Check him out. Great stats, lots of assists and goals. But that would imply, Killen, and appreciate the contribution, that Manchester United had a scouting network that was worth something, that could see some players, all this kind of stuff. But that might not be the case. I find it weird also, DJ, though, that so is this even the right time to negotiate? If you're a player, like the best time to negotiate, right? And I might be wrong here. I'm no football agent, but for me, the best time to negotiate is when your value is at its highest, right? Your value is at its highest, and you would then go to the club. You would then go to whoever and say, look, I'm very valuable right now. I deserve a new contract. But it's like the opposite at Manchester United. It's almost as if some players are trying to negotiate deals out of pure preservation, right? If I get a new deal, I'll stick around then, and they can't get rid of me. Do you reckon that's kind of the mindset at this point?
I think potentially. I think a lot of these players just are maybe not too sure where they would go after Manchester United. And I think it's probably, them putting the feelers out to their agents to reach out to the club to see if there is an option to sort of extend. I think these players, and think about it, they're getting paid really well. So they're like, well, why would we leave Manchester United to go to another club where we're not going to probably be as good and be paid maybe less or not equivalent to what's being paid at Manchester United. So, yeah, I think there might be a little bit in that.
Let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, because it wouldn't be a Manchester United show without talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, right? So obviously, Ronaldo didn't play in the Manchester derby, hip flexor issue, then flew to Portugal, reportedly, wasn't even in Manchester for the game, flew to Portugal. Now, he was back at Carrington yesterday, but he did not participate in training. And these are some of the reports that have come out about him today. There have been quite a few, actually. So the first one was from Sam Wallace and James Ducker of The Telegraph. This came out in the morning and said that Cristiano Ronaldo was at Carrington on Tuesday, but did not participate in Manchester United training. It has not yet been made clear as to whether he participated in Wednesday's full session. Hold that thought, because we do actually know that he did, kind of. James Ducker then said that he wasn't expected to take part in training, even though he did, but saying that his hip flexor has been causing him pain for the last couple of months. Now, about 20 or so minutes ago, before we went live, Manchester United released an update showing the pictures of everyone in training, all that kind of stuff. And we've since found out that Cristiano Ronaldo trained separately today from the first team squad. He trained separately as he works on regaining his full fitness. DJ, would he have made any difference at the weekend, first of all?
No, not for me. Not for me. City had too much of the ball, and Ronaldo isn't really renowned for chasing down defenders and trying to win the ball up high up the pitch. He's not really renowned for that. I don't think he would have made any difference. Yeah.
But where do you sit then? Okay, so it would have made a difference. And I think that's fair. I don't think anyone, I mean, we talk about Varane, Cavani, I don't think anyone would have made a difference this past weekend. But where do you sit on his whole absence, though? Because there have been a lot of people talking about it, right? And usually, and I'm not one for conspiracy theories, to be honest with you. And that's KG's deal, right? That's not really me. But it is weird. I'm with people that it is weird. I've got a hip flexor issue, flies away, comes back, all that kind of stuff. Where do you sit on his absence? Is there more to it?
I think there is an issue with his hip flexor, but I don't know if it's to the. I think the hip flexor thing came out because he wasn't selected. I think Ranić just didn't fancy him for the Man City game. I think that whole injury talk. I think there might have been an issue previously, but I don't believe now. And again, maybe I am veering into conspiracy theorists. I've been watching too much Batman, but I do believe that. I think Ranić got on the phone to him, Owen. I think Ranić got on the phone to him and said, "You better fly back, right? Because it's not a good look. You've gone to Portugal." I think there's been a conversation between them, and I think Ranić told him, "Listen, get back. If you want to rehab your injury or whatever it is, get back and do it in Manchester," because that's what Ranić said that he wanted the players to do. A few months ago. So I think he's told Ronaldo, get your ass back to Manchester and do what you need to do. Maybe there's an issue, but maybe also it could be a thing of they're just covering up the fact that he wasn't picked for City, because there needs to be a viable option for the press as to why he didn't play and why he didn't start. And I think Ranić, just to stop all the questions, he's got an injury, or Ronaldo says, I've got an injury. So I don't know. I do think there is something in it though.
I don't know, DJ. I mean, it is an odd one because, you know, they have said the hip flexor thing before, in fairness. Like, that has come up in the past. It is odd for him to be out of the Manchester derby, one of the biggest games of the season, right? That's weird. I'm with you in that with him flying away, because this was also put out there too, that if he is injured, Ranić has drawn his line in the sand with the Pogba thing, right? If you're rehabbing in Manchester. You rehab when you're close to the club. We can monitor you. We can get you in the right space and all that kind of stuff. So I'm with you on that. Whether or not it's like this big, he wasn't going to play, so he went away. I don't know. I really don't know. I think there's a lot for Cristiano Ronaldo to not play a game of football, especially a high-profile game. That's why it's weird, isn't it? That's the weird thing, is for Cristiano Ronaldo
I think it is.
To sort of pull out of a big game, to be like, I'm hurt. People go, that's odd. And that is odd, in fairness. And the biggest thing, I suppose, is like if he plays this weekend against Spurs, then people will go, wow, that hip injury couldn't have been that bad. You know what I mean? It raises a lot of questions, doesn't it?
It does. But then I think, again, we have to remember he's 37. So it could be just what it says on the tin, a hip flexor issue. He didn't feel up for it. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, is that my twin saying the same thing?
Yeah.
But literally, he's 37. So maybe this is a thing that he's been having to deal with. I've heard rumors throughout the years he's had to deal with, quite a serious knee injury that he's getting all the best, support for and knowing how to rehab that. So maybe it is just what it is, a hip flexor. But I would say it is a little bit weird. And I think if Man United want to cover their backs with this, is you put him on the bench and do some sort of second half impact player against Spurs. That's what I would do. Because if he starts against Spurs, we're going to be thinking, hold on a minute.
Yeah,
have I just gone? Have I frozen?
No. You were bugging in and out. You're bugging in and out. But now you're back. You're back now. You're back now.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Tesco Wi-Fi.
Yeah, well, exactly. You've been calling out KG. That's the problem. What I would say is that if this has been an issue for a couple of months, as they say, could potentially maybe that be a bit of a reason about why he's been a bit poor, maybe, maybe a bit like actually, and he's been dealing with an injury for a while, so that's why he's looked a bit short, or that's why he's been struggling to beat players, because this actually is causing him way more issues than we actually knew.
Yeah, he hasn't looked sharp in any sense of the word. He hasn't looked sharp at all, and maybe it is a nice way for him as Cristiano Ronaldo, the best player in the world, to say, yeah, that's my excuse. That's my excuse why I haven't been playing well for the last couple of games. So yeah, maybe it's just a built-in excuse. Who knows, really? I think we've got bigger fish to fry instead of a Ronaldo hip flexor injury, though. I think.
Do you think he's going to play at the weekend?
Have I gone? I'm back. Yeah, I don't know what's going on today. Do
you think he'll play at the weekend?
I think he'll play a part. I think he'll be on the bench.
You think he'll be on the bench? But then, who does start at the front?
I think Rashford will.
You reckon? After everything?
I think Rashford will start. After everything I think Rashford
this
will.
week?
Yeah, I think Rashford will. We have to change it up. We have to do something different. So I think Rashford will.
How do you feel about that with the Rashford situation briefly? I mean, that was a lot. And again, a lot of it wasn't just one journalist, it was several, which implies it's something more put out there. And then the following day, it comes out that the chances are, or the rumor is, that he's going to be dropped from the England squad. So then the events that happened the day prior make more sense, in the sense that he might have been told, look, you're going to get dropped from the England squad. And now he's sort of gone, actually, you know what? If I'm going to get dropped by the England squad, it's not my fault. It's Manchester United, or it's Ralph Rangnick's fault, all that kind of stuff. Oh dear. It's all going wrong. It's all going wrong for DJ today. Look at that. My co-host is a revolving circle. This is not good. We'll wait for him to come back. This is what you love about being live, guys. I'll have to. We'll see if he comes back. I've been ditched again. But we'll keep talking. And we'll keep discussing it. Without my co-host, you can be my co-host this evening, guys. You can let me know. As Steven says, yeah, exactly. Man United is trying to lock off the stream. It's very true. CKG says DJ's left the building. Absolutely, he's gone. Yeah, it's he's back again.
This has never happened before. DJ dropping out twice or 3 times in the stream. That's crazy.
Exactly. I think Ronaldo's going to start. I really do. I think he's going to.
You think he's going to start for real?
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll just be like, he's back. Let's not rule out any chaos at this point, DJ. Like honestly,
that's true. Oh my gosh.
But speaking of the Rashford thing, briefly, what do you think about the Rashford situation? Do you think it's a case of, he got the call from England, you're probably going to be dropped, and now he's blaming, that's not my fault, but Man United aren't playing me, and Ralph Rangnick's not playing me in the right position, and all this kind of stuff, when in reality it's like, actually, mate, you've dropped. You didn't play in the Manchester derby because you haven't been very good. You're going to get dropped by England because you haven't been very good. And now it's kind of a case of toys out the pram. Well, it's not my fault. I might leave Man United, maybe.
Ooh, with Rashford, I've never ever got the vibe of him that he's that type of guy.
Nor have I. But then what happened the other day speaks for itself, does it not?
Yeah, no, it's true. So I do think maybe. Well, I think this has never really happened to him before, where he's been so out of form. you know, he's had patches in the past, but then he always comes good. And I think this is the longest time in which he hasn't produced the goods for Manchester United. And I think maybe it's starting to affect him more. You know, there's a lot of talk about, you know, him being compared to Mbappe. And I know he probably hears all of it. He does. I'm pretty sure he does. So I think it's actually getting to him now. But this is the thing, Owen. I think nowadays, if players aren't playing well and they get benched, I think they just need to just understand that, and just your mentality should be, I'm going to try and get in this team. I think all the time, and he's not the only one. Yeah, every minute, I'm going to leave now because I'm not getting games. Like, come on, like, you know, this is the Premier League, toughest league in the world, and you know, there's places up for grabs, and if you're not performing, someone will take your spot. And it kind of then puts kind of players like Paul Pogba into perspective, because, you know, we know what his agent's saying, but Pogba himself, he's not really said much when he hasn't played and stuff like that. He'll just do what he needs to do and show a level of professionalism. So, you know, with this Rashford thing, I think it might not be as big as a lot of people have built it up to be. Because he then put out a post, like, I can't remember what platform it was. He did put out a post of Manchester United, and basically it was a subtle post to say, I love Manchester United. So I don't know whether, you know, because a lot of people said, is he going to respond? I think that was his response. So I can't remember what platform it was again, guys, but can't remember if it was Instagram or something like that, but he did. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see with the Rashford. We'll see with Rashford.
Yeah, I mean, like I said on Monday, like, I don't think Rashford's going to leave. I think, you know, these Manchester United guy, Man United obviously want to keep him, but I just don't think you put it this way. When he didn't play at the weekend, when he was on the bench, of course it was surprising, but it was surprising because we didn't have any other striking options. If we did, and Rashford was on the bench, you'd have gone, okay, because that's how he's been playing. He has not been playing good enough. Should he be in the England squad in his recent form? No. Should he be in the Manchester United squad in his recent form? No. And like you said, I think you can't, maybe it is the modern player, I don't know, but you can't just be like, oh, it's because I'm not getting played. Or I saw a thing of like, oh, but I haven't got a run in a certain position in the side. It's like Paul Pogba says hello. Like, you kidding me? A run in a certain side. Paul Pogba, central midfield, left winger, deep line playmaker, 10, you know. If you play well in one position, if you play well, you will stay in that position. But he hasn't been playing well. If he started left-hand side and he was getting goals and assists, he would still be playing left-hand side. Yeah. That's the thing I don't get with that sort of narrative. Oh, he's been shunted around, this, that, and the other. It's like, well, in reality, he's just not been playing well. Like, it's kind of, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know, I might get a bit of slack for this, but I think he should just play down the middle, because it just eliminates him having to overthink everything. If he goes sort of like the Jamie Vardy, Michael Owen-esque route of playing on the shoulder of the defender, hoping that, you know, Bruno, Pogba are going to find you through the lines and using his pace to get onto those passes and try and just, you know, going towards goal and shooting, trying to score. I think that limits him having to overthink everything. Because I think on the left, he just overthinks everything because he's got to do two things. He's either got to cut in, work an angle to try and score, or create. And I just think that somewhere down the line, mentally, he gets kind of mixed up. I think if you just simplify his game, look, you're playing through the middle, that's your job. That's it. I think we may see him maybe reinvent himself a little bit. But again, early days, I don't see Rashford leaving. If it was me, if I was, you know, the powers that be at Manchester United, can't lie, Owen, I'd sell him. I would, because we can get better. We can get better players, and it's about the team, and it's about the squad, it's about Manchester United trying to challenge again. Is Marcus Rashford going to be that player that's going to get us challenging for titles? That's where the debate should lie. He ain't the only one, by the way.
Janari says, I said this on the Discord, Truth Engraved. I believe Rashford has never recovered from the whole England experience last summer. I think a lot of players have. I mean, obviously, Rashford had a far more intense situation than others. And maybe that's true. Maybe I have seen some people say Rashford, you know, maybe he feels the pressure more. He's a far more public figure than he's ever been. You know, the last couple of years off the pitch, obviously, have been massive for him, and you have to credit him the work he's done. But that also does come with a huge amount of scrutiny, even more than what was there previously, and that can be difficult to manage as well. Absolutely. David G says, Ferran Torres, Dembele, Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr., Saka, Martinelli, Luis Diaz are better than Rash. Shall I name more wingers? You don't have to, David.
Well, you don't have
you
to.
Don't have to. You don't have to.
Thanks for that,
I think your point. I think the point is very valid. Though there are plenty of players that are better than Rashford, certainly at the moment, no doubt about it.
Yeah. I don't have any sympathy for him though. Sorry to cut you on. I just don't have any sympathy at the moment. I know. Look, we could talk about the England experience, but look at Saka. He had a horrible experience. Look at Sancho, horrible experience. Look at Sancho. He's not even played in this league. He had a few quiet months where he came in, wasn't looking as sharp, and now look at him. And Rashford's been here. He's been in the league. He knows what to expect. I just think, look, pick yourself up and get going again. That's all.
K-Flow says, mate, Rashford is not good enough through the middle. His finishing isn't good enough. And he said himself his best position is left wing, so he can cut in. He needs to change his game or he's done. What do you think about that, DJ?
Well, I think when he was first introduced to the team, he played through the middle and scored quite a lot of goals. So that's where kind of my thought process was. From the left wing, I think he's been figured out a little bit. You kind of know what he's going to do. Again, there's not like even some of his passing to link up with the left back. It's not really been there. And we have seen glimpses in the past where he's been on form and he's managed to get these passes to Luke Shaw, and they developed a nice little partnership. I think it was last season, but at this moment in time, I just think if you just simplify his game, i.e. playing through the middle where his job is to get onto the last defender on the defender's shoulder, use his pace to get into the space and finish, kind of like a Vardy-esque, kind of like Owen back in the day in his prime, on the shoulder of the defender. Yeah, not you.
Not me.
But but Michael Owen, you know what I mean? Just on the shoulder of the defender. I think that just simplifies his game.
Imagine me left wing. What a disgrace that would be. Me on the left wing. Hang on. I don't have that level of fitness nowadays. Red Baron says Rashford needs to simplify his game. I'm sick of seeing him run into players and shooting 30 yards just so he can get his mojo back. And that's a good point as well by Red Baron. I think sometimes you do see that by Rashford. He's like, especially when he's not playing well, he chases it. He'll chase the goal. Yeah. To be like, okay, that's what will spark me into it. Lewis makes a really good point here. Says Sancho is the example. He came in a bit shaky, but he didn't let it affect him in the long run. Rashford should get next season. After that, the question of selling should be there, which I think is quite fair, to be honest, Lewis. Again, I think now it's about Rashford's reaction to how he's going to manage all of this. You know, is it a case of him going, I'm considering my future, or is it a case of no, I'm not playing well? You know what? The expectation was that he was going to be even better this season, right? Because he had the delayed start after all of the injuries and the surgeries and the shoulder injury, the ankle injury, all that kind of stuff. And we've got what we thought was going to be the fittest version of Rashford, and it's kind of equated to sort of the poorest version.
The poorest version.
Doesn't really add up as well.
Yeah,
exactly. K-Flow says, man, Rashford lives offside and his decision-making is poor.
Lives offside.
Let's talk briefly about Rafael Varane and Cavani. So Varane, of course, missed the game at the weekend as well. He's back at Carrington today. He was out with COVID, obviously. Like I said earlier on with Ronaldo, do you think Varane would have made much of a difference?
No. I don't know, actually. I think he would have done... That City team was just on fire. It's hard to say. Is he a better defender there? Of course. He's the best that we have. So maybe... But it's hard to tell at this point. I think we shouldn't even really question that. It's been and gone. Let's see what he'll probably start against Tottenham. I hope he does. I hope he's fit. I hope he's ready. And yeah, we'll see from there.
Yeah, I think, like I said earlier on, I think we lost 4-1. We got battered. Would Varane have made a difference? We might have been a bit more defensively reassured, but I didn't look at that result and go, we're just missing Varane today. That's the only reason we lost. Because that was way, way bigger than that. What is interesting, though, the fact that he is back, obviously the game prior to this, Watford, it was him and Lindelof, of course, at centre-back. Yeah. So what do you think Ranić goes for at the weekend? Do you think he goes back to Varane and Lindelof, or do you think he goes with Varane and Maguire? What do you think he goes with?
I think he'll go with Varane and Lindelof. Tottenham have got some...
You think so?
Yeah, I think he will. He will. And big call. And I think Lindelof plays better with Varane. It's crazy because Lindelof, in my opinion, didn't have the best game against City. And I was saying, actually, when I was watching, I was saying, yeah, when he plays with Varane, he looks so much better. Like, it's literally night and day. So I'm hoping he starts with Varane. I think Ranić will go with that just for the pace as well, because Tottenham have got some quite quick players. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would hope he would go with that because I think there are two best defenders at the moment. I think despite obviously really disappointing when we played Watford, defensively, we looked somewhat reassured. We still conceded chances, but that's Man United. We always concede chances. Yeah. I think that we looked more comfortable playing a higher line. There was quite a few occasions where Watford players were offside, and that's because our line was much higher. The problem is with Maguire and Lindelof, and you could see it against City at the weekend, it's just they're so nervy. They're so nervy and so panicky, and I think that rubs off on people. Like you said, Lindelof, I mean, none of that back four had a good game. The back four was awful at the weekend. But those two centre-backs in particular look shaky. I don't think Ranić really cares that much about making big decisions. We say it's a big call. He don't care. Like, he'll just do what he thinks is the right call. So I think I would hope, like I said, that Varane and Lindelof would start. To be honest, though, DJ, I would not be shocked if he did go with Varane and Maguire, because you have to almost expect it at this point, right?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. If he does go with Maguire and Varane, I'll be like, okay. I think for me, I'm mentally checking out of this season. All of the players that we think shouldn't play, they'll play. All the players that we think should play, won't play or will play. I think it's just got to the point where the season's been such a disappointment for us. And I know we've got a few crunch games coming up. But still, I think the season's been so disappointing that we're just, as fans, just hanging on. We're just seeing. We're just hoping and waiting and seeing what happens. And then we'll address the summer when the summer comes. I think that's kind of where a lot of fans are at right now.
Another name that was back in training today was Edison Cavani. He was also part of the main group, as Manchester United said, as he looks to make a return to the matchday squad. What do you think about Cavani at the moment? Because to be honest, I say he was part of training today. That means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing when it comes to him playing at the weekend, because how many times over the last few weeks have we heard, Cavani was back in training today. Comes the weekend, no Cavani. Ralph, where was Cavani? I don't know. We had the last training session and then the doctor came in, knock on the door. He must dread that knock at the door. He must be, Ralph's there. He's got his little tactic board or whatever, and he's got Edison there. He's going to put Edison in. Then he just hears, and he thinks,
fuck's sake.
He knows what it's going to be. He goes, is it you, doctor? Yeah. You go, come in. Edison, is it? Yeah.
Cool. Take him off the board.
Exactly. Exactly. Rub that out,
Yeah.
I mean, great. He was training today, but do you expect him to play at the weekend a role? Do you think he's going to be on the bench? What's going to happen with him?
I think he'll be on the bench. I think it's not. I don't think there's any coincidence that maybe him and Ronaldo are coming back around the same time. I do think maybe Ranić had to have some tough conversations behind closed doors with those two in regards to being available for matches and their fitness levels and stuff like that. Do think he'll be on the bench. And he'll be a good addition. It's just what surrounded him. Like, we don't know why. We don't know why he's been out for so long. But again, we did know this about the player before we even went in for him. So again, that's on United's head. It's not on Ralph's head. It's on Manchester United board. They made that decision to bring Edison in. And we knew that he was injury prone and had these problems. So Ralph's just got to work with it, unfortunately.
I think the concerning thing was the Cavani situation as well. As I know people can slate the Ronaldo thing. Oh, you panicked because you thought he was going to Man City. Whatever. If we hadn't assigned Cristiano Ronaldo, think of the situation we would be in right now. We were going into this season prepared to rely on Cavani to play at least half the games. Oh my gosh, that was never going to happen. Yeah, I know situations have evolved since then and all that kind of stuff, but still, like, that is crazy. And I've said before that I think his role now, between now and the end of the season, is impact sub if he's available. If that, I mean, I really don't see how many more games he's going to start between now and the end of the season. Like, how many games would you say he's going to start between now and the end of the season? You can count on two hands. You can count on two hands. Oh, you count on one hand, I think, probably. Yes, honestly.
I think start games 3. That's even pushing it for me. Maybe towards it 4. Yeah, I don't see him starting any games. Maybe coming on as a sub. But in terms of being available for games, whether that is a sub or start, I'd say maybe 6 games. Maybe. But again, you never know with Cavani. You just don't know. No, I think he's just trying to get to the end of the season too, so he can go.
Yeah, I mean, and also as well, the frustrating thing is with him as well, isn't it? Is that when he does play, he does offer something, and he does offer passion, and he generally seems like a likable guy, and he does seem like he cares. But it's just this. I don't know.
Do you think
very
that's smoke and
frustrating.
mirrors though? Do you think that's all smoke and mirrors? Do you think behind the
No, I
scenes
don't
he's
doubt.
not really?
I don't think so. I don't doubt that he is a very passionate, like when he plays and he wants to win and he does somewhat care. But I suppose also on the flip side, look, actions speak louder than words. He obviously, clearly, is not a guy that wants to play through that pain barrier. I don't think we will ever see like an 80% Edison Cavani play. I really don't. I think he's one of those players where it's like, oh, I've got a bit of a knock today in training. Well, that's me out. I'm definitely not playing. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, look, how old are you? 34, 35? You're going to be playing with knocks. And I understand, especially in later on in your career, you need to manage your body better. But you would also argue, if you're managing your body better, what on earth is your fitness record then? Because if you're managing yourself well, and this is your fitness record still, then I would reevaluate that fitness regime because you're getting injured still every single week. And like I said, and we can, I'm sure Ralph on Friday will be like, what's the situation with Edison? He trained this week. Come Saturday, who knows? Roll of a dice whether he's going to play or not. Honestly, roll of a dice.
It is. Do you and there's another player that we ain't mentioned, and do you think Matic might get some minutes? Because I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be quite important. I think we're going to need his experience towards the end of the season, especially if we're even thinking of getting fourth, or maybe he's safe for the Champions League. Who knows?
I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what team he plays. Obviously against Spurs. I mean, it was one of the, because obviously you would be like, this is the problem. Not that the game doesn't matter, because obviously it really does matter, right?
It does matter, yeah.
Because if we've got any, but if the thing is now, it's not even the point of, well, if we've got any chance of getting top four, we've got to win, which is true, but it's gone. Like, it's mathematically, I know, but it's gone. It's gone. Yeah. And that's the problem. And you would say, like, usually you would, after a performance like that, you go, we expect a big reaction. I don't know if I do, DJ. I really don't know if I do.
Yeah. Because usually I think before, players would kind of come out and they'd be, we're going to rise together, and they come up with some statements, feel-good statements. But I just don't get that there is any feel-good energy around Manchester United at the moment. I think the players are flat. I honestly think Ralph's done a decent job. I do. I think he's done a decent job of managing everything. But I just think that these players, they're at the end of their their mental kind of. I think they've just mentally checked out. I do. That's why a lot of, the older guys. Oh, I've got an injury. I've hurt my leg. They probably just don't want to be involved. Do you know what I mean? It's just a sinking ship, and I'm sorry to say, guys, sinking ship. And I know Champions League's still there. And anything's possible. Stranger things have happened in football. Leicester won the league, but I don't know. I just think they've mentally checked out, Owen. Honestly, and I think it's building where you're getting. There's leaks every week now. It's probably not a nice environment to be around.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Ralph, and I do think he's done a good job, as good as he can. I think he's almost somewhat. Maybe it's not the right phrase. But I think he's almost over his head, in the sense that I think even some really experienced managers, or some top quality managers or coaches that came into Manchester United right now, with that group of players, with the environment as it is in the dressing room, I think they would struggle. I really do. I think, with the players that are there, and because again, I look at that performance of the weekend, and I don't even really think like there's a desire really to bounce back. You know what I mean? If you get absolutely humbled like that, usually it would be a case of, okay, we're going to bounce back, we're going to fight back, all that kind of stuff. I really don't even think there's much of a desire to be like, okay, that was really embarrassing. Next weekend, we've got to come out and really show something. I just don't think that's there. I really don't.
Yeah. And I think what's going to get this team going and energized again is going to have to be a moment of brilliance against Tottenham. Like, one of our players do something out of the ordinary, score a wonder goal or something, and then that might ignite the players. Because I just think it's all gone a bit flat. It's all a bit dead.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing they can hope, isn't it? If they play Tottenham and say we did win 3-0, then some people will be like, oh, here we go.
Yeah,
we would
boost,
all fall for it, right? We would all be like, well, maybe, push to the end of the season, all that kind of stuff. But if I could not tell you, DJ, that I would be expecting that. I can't even say that would happen, because I just don't see it.
Yeah, and I think And I think this is an assessment process now. I think we've entered the assessment process with a look to the summer. I think Ralph's now taking notes, who he thinks should stay at the club. And, I'm pretty sure he'll sort of, talk with, Richard Arnold and all those that are above him. I think he will then say, this player deserves to stay, build the team around this player, the rest. I know you guys probably won't do it, but I think they should go or be bench players. And it's now the assessment process, I do believe. Because I don't think, I said it months, I said it here, guys. I said, I don't believe we'll get top 4. Just because I know these players, I've got to know these players, just like everyone else. And what I see is guys that when it's going great, yeah, they're all there for each other. They'll talk about Manchester United as, yeah, we want to get to this stage and da-da-da-da. But when it starts going pear-shaped, they just mentally capitulate and mentally fold. And this is where we're at right now. You don't know what's going to happen against Tottenham.
Tabarez says Cavani will play. Remember, there's a new break soon, and he wants to play for the national team. Bailly should play ahead of Varane. He's so much better. Oh, I think Bailly's a forgotten man at this point, to be honest.
Yeah,
Tabarez.
I actually forgot about
one of those guys that's going to be going. Yeah, but he's going to be one of those guys that's probably going in the summer. And this was kind of the point I was going to finish off on, DJ, is that, with things as bad as they are, and said top 4, whilst mathematically not impossible, it's gone. Maybe it needs to get this bad, right? I know it's annoying that, we're going to have to do another rebuild. And everyone's like, another rebuild in the summer. And, 3 years ago, it was going to be a rebuild and all this kind of stuff. But maybe it needs to get this bad. Maybe it needs to get this bad that all of these senior people go. And I can't even believe I'm saying this, but you look at someone like Arsenal and you say, look, they had a lot of senior people there on big money. And what did they do eventually? Yeah. They took the hit and they got rid of them for free. But they're better off for it, They got Ozil gone, they got Kolasinac gone, they got David Luiz gone, they got Aubameyang gone, and now a bit light up front, but they've got a lot of young players there that care, that want to improve, that want to win things, and they're in the top 4 with 3 games in hand over us. So, like I said, maybe it needs to get this bad, just to burn it all down and build it back up.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll be honest with you, I'm happy for that. I do think that, and this is the thing. I do think that this summer we have to get it right to a T. We can't afford to make mistakes that are going to set us back, i.e. we need to appoint the right manager, i.e. we need to, if we're going to get rid of players, we need to make sure we're going to get decent money for these players. And then we need to build. There's so much that needs to go into it. I just hope that we get it right. There are some young players that I would like to see sort of get given some game time towards the end of the season. Obviously, I still think it's too early for a lot of our young players to be established, not starters, obviously, but I would like to see them start getting slowly integrated in, the likes of Hannibal, getting involved. We've still got a lot of young players on loan, so there's a lot to do. This new manager is going to have a lot to do, Owen. And if we can keep, I'd say 5 players out of this starting 11 as the core, and then buy the new players around that, I'd be happy with that.
Tabarez says, Vicky is Victor Lindelof. Solskjaer's talking. Apologies, Tabarez. I just, I saw V and I just thought it's got to be autocorrect.
Yeah.
Solskjaer feels like a million years ago.
It does.
Solskjaer feels like honestly, it doesn't feel like this season. Honestly, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
It is
Solskjaer,
crazy. Yeah, remember? Anyway, guys, look, we're going to be out of here. What's coming up for the rest of the week? Thursday, actually, we've got some really good stuff coming up before the Spurs game. We've got some match previews. We've got some really fun collaborations. I won't get in trouble. If I was, I was just about to say what they actually were, and I would actually get in trouble. So I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say. We've got some fun stuff coming up. So Flex is going to be all over it today and tomorrow and Friday. Friday as well. Going to be with the press conference with Flex too, which is going to be an interesting one. What's Ralph Rantney going to say? Because there's been nothing going on in the media this week, right? DJ, nothing's been going on. So I'm sure he won't have to reply to anything.
Yeah, so...
And of course, now in the press conferences, the press are back in there. So last week was the first time the press is actually back in there.
Yeah.
And it takes on a different life. It takes on a different life when the press are in there because they start shouting all over each other. Ralph's looking around doing all this kind of stuff. It's fascinating. It really is. So
he's going to He's going to conveniently not hear a few questions. He's going to try and be like, yeah, sorry, you? Yeah, he's going to be
Do a Cavani. Yeah. Goes, guys, sorry, I was going to come up for the press conference, but my groin hurt. I don't know what it is, so I can't do it. That's what I do. You know what I mean? Or slide a note under the door. Can't. You know, I'm sick, all this kind of
sick.
stuff. Do something. Exactly. Just send someone else. But nevertheless, yeah, we'll be back for the press conference on Friday and some other fun collaborations. And then obviously Saturday is match day. And
don't look so down.
Well, you know,
Saturday's match day.
Just, you know, that's the place we're at the moment, isn't it, with Manchester United?
Yeah, we are.
That's what it is. Anyway, guys, we're out of here and we'll speak to you again very soon. Peace.